So here I have Samsung 860 EVO 1TB drive. I'll be upgrading from my 500 gig hard drive, Western Digital Blue, that I've had for so many years. The reason why I got a SATA SSD was because my motherboard, a Z77 Extreme 4 with a 3570K CPU, it doesn't have a M2 slot, so I can't boot up from an M2 or an NVMe drive. I mean, I could go do a PCI NVMe adapter to get an M2 slot, but that's just simply more expensive than just going to a SATA SSD, and I'm not really doing any video content creation, so I just went with a SATA SSD, mainly because they were on sale on Black Friday. I got this for $120. I went 1 terabyte because even with 500 gigs, I was pressed for space even with just like programs and games installed. Also upgrading to Windows 10 Pro, so I can control the system updates that Microsoft has been sending out that haven't been so good lately. So this is my main boot drive with Windows 7. I'm going to keep this just in case anything happens with this, because my motherboard actually, it doesn't support boot up from a USB key which came with Windows 10. So I had to get had to burn the disk for Windows 10 and boot up from the disk, because I can't do it on this motherboard, mainly because it's so slow. Been upgrading my system incrementally over the past 2 years. First my old CPU died, old PSU died, so I'd get a new PSU. Then I went to a 1070, which didn't fit in my old case, so I had to get a new case. So now I'm upgrading to an SSD in Windows 10. Hopefully this will last me at least another year or two before I have to upgrade my system components, and hopefully my CPU doesn't bottleneck and my 8 gigs of RAM is enough for the next 2 years. That's what I'm hoping for. Okay, so I finally got the Windows 10 installed on the SSD. It's actually really fast. Just the boot up time has been a huge difference. Previously on Windows 7 and the hard drive, it would take me like a minute just to get onto the desktop background, and another 2 or 3 minutes just to have all the background stuff load up, and it would take me about 5 minutes just to get Chrome started up. But with Windows 10 and the SSD, it's actually less than a minute. Right now I'm just installing League. I have everything pretty much done and installed all the apps and the updates. So the SSD, I actually have it mounted right there. It's actually not mounted, it's just sitting on top of the old hard drives. That's the old Windows 7 drive. There is actually a slot behind my motherboard tray, up behind there, but I'm not going to put it there because there's just too much cables on this side. There's just too many cables already as is. So in order for me to mount it over here in that slot, I have to run another SATA power cable and SATA cable up here, and it's just not enough room for me to close this and to make this look a little bit nicer. But this will suffice. Just having it live up on top like that, it'll suffice. So overall, pretty happy on this upgrade. This is actually a major upgrade compared to all my previous upgrades, in terms of just the overall feel of everyday computing. Just having it start up so fast is great.